What if everything you've ever wanted, peace, power, purpose, was waiting behind just one strong habit you haven't committed to yet? Think about that for a moment. One change, one action repeated every single day. One thing done so consistently it rewires the way you see yourself and how the world sees you. Most people never realize the truth. Their life isn't broken. It's just stuck in a loop of weak patterns that don't support who they want to become. And here's the brutal truth. If you keep repeating what you're doing now, you'll keep getting exactly what you're getting now. No change, no breakthrough. Just the same days over and over again, disguised as a life. But deep down, you already know this. You've felt the frustration. You've had those nights where you stare at the ceiling, wondering why nothing's changing, why success feels far away, why you keep slipping into the same doubts, distractions, and disappointments. It's not because you're not capable. It's not because you're lazy. It's because no one ever showed you the real force that shapes your future. It's not talent, luck, or even motivation. It's habit. One habit. One core behavior you choose and protect like your life depends on it, because it does. When you commit to one strong habit, you change more than just your schedule. You change your identity. You stop saying, "I want to be better," and you start becoming better. You stop needing external validation because you gain internal momentum. Each time you show up for yourself, when it's hard, when it's cold, when no one's watching, you send a signal to your brain, "I am the kind of person who follows through." And that changes everything. Confidence grows. Clarity sharpens. Discipline hardens. You stop waiting and start building. This is your wake-up call. Not tomorrow, not next week. Right now. Because 5 years from now you will look back on today, and you will either thank yourself or regret that you stayed comfortable. One strong habit can rewrite your story, physically, mentally, financially, emotionally. It's the root of everything you want. You don't need to figure out your entire life today. You just need to make one solid promise to yourself and keep it every day until it becomes who you are. Stay with this message until the very end, because what you'll discover next isn't just motivation, it's the map. A step-by-step guide to breaking the cycle and building the kind of strength you've always known was buried inside you. That voice in your heart that whispers, "You were made for more." It's not lying, but it needs proof, and that proof is one habit. One act of discipline that you choose every single day, not because it's easy, but because you finally believe you deserve the life that comes with it. You don't rise to the level of your dreams, you fall to the strength of your habits. That's the truth no one wants to hear, because dreams are exciting, but habits are quiet. They don't make noise, they don't ask for applause, but they build you. Every day you repeat a behavior, you're voting for the person you're becoming. And the real question is, who are you voting for? Each time you delay, escape, or give in, you're reinforcing the version of yourself you're trying to escape. But each time you stand tall, show up, and do what you said you would, even when it's hard, you're sculpting a new identity, one choice at a time. Change doesn't come from intensity, it comes from consistency. Anyone can work hard for a day, a week, even a month, but real transformation belongs to those who are willing to do the boring, the uncomfortable, the necessary, over and over again. When you commit to a habit, you're not just doing something, you're becoming someone. You're replacing chaos with clarity. You're choosing strength over excuses. And it's not always glamorous. There are no shortcuts, no secrets, just a simple truth. If you want your life to rise, your standards must rise first. It doesn't matter how small the habit is. What matters is that it's real, it's solid, and it's repeated. It can be waking up at the same time. It can be journaling for 5 minutes. It can be choosing to move your body, read a page, drink water, or sit in silence. What you choose isn't the point. The point is the pattern. Because patterns build power. And once momentum begins, everything changes. Your brain starts to believe you're capable. Your emotions start aligning with purpose. Your confidence becomes earned, not imagined. Discipline doesn't drain you, it frees you. Most people think freedom means doing whatever you want. That's not freedom, that's slavery to impulses. True freedom is having control over your own behavior. It's knowing that your emotions don't own you, your distractions don't lead you, and your doubts don't define you. And you earn that power one habit at a time. One small daily victory that proves to yourself, I'm in control now. You've waited long enough for a breakthrough. You've watched others build what you've only imagined. Or you've had moments of fire that faded into ashes because nothing was anchored. That changes today. The shift happens the moment you decide that one habit is no longer optional. It's required, non-negotiable, part of who you are. And when that switch flips inside you, the world responds. Opportunities show up. Focus sharpens. Strength multiplies. Not because life suddenly got easier, but because you became stronger. You didn't wait for the path to clear. You started walking. And now everything begins to shift. All from one habit, one choice. Repeat it until it transforms your future. Keep going. You're closer than you think. Your brain is always watching you. Every decision you make, every promise you keep or break, your mind records it. And over time, it begins to build a version of you that matches those patterns. That's how identity forms. Not from the things you say you want, but from the things you repeatedly do. You can't fake consistency. You can't talk your way into strength. You have to earn it through action, through repetition, through the discipline of doing the hard things when no one's clapping and no one's watching. That's where real power is born, not in comfort, but in quiet commitment. This is why so many people stay stuck. They keep chasing intensity. They want massive change overnight. But what they fail to realize is that lasting transformation doesn't scream, it whispers. It begins with one quiet decision and grows through 1,000 silent repetitions. Every day you're either reinforcing weakness or building strength. There is no in-between. Every excuse, every delay, every maybe later carves a deeper groove of hesitation in your mind. But every moment you choose action, every time you show up despite resistance, you lay another brick in the foundation of unshakable confidence. You don't need to feel ready. You don't need to be inspired. What you need is to decide that your future is worth more than your comfort. You have to become the kind of person who does the right thing even when it's hard, even when motivation is gone, even when no one will ever see the effort. That's what separates those who grow from those who repeat. And yes, it's hard. Yes, it's uncomfortable. But that's the point. You are not here to stay the same. You are here to evolve. The real reward isn't the result. It's who you become in the process. It's waking up one day and realizing that the person you used to wish you were, you are now living as. That strength, that focus, that discipline, it didn't come from luck or inspiration. It came from one habit, one decision, done over and over again until it stopped being something you did and started being someone you are. That's the true transformation. Not doing the thing once, but becoming the kind of person who can't imagine living without it. So you have to ask yourself, right now, what version of me am I feeding? The one that gives in, delays, and hopes things get better on their own? Or the one that decides enough is enough and starts building the future brick by brick? One habit is all it takes to shift the entire direction of your life. Not because it changes everything overnight, but because it changes you. And when you change, everything you touch changes too. This isn't about a task. It's about becoming. Choose the habit, repeat the habit, become the strength, and watch how the world starts to move with you. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you're not just winning the moment, you're reprogramming your mind. Your brain learns through repetition. It listens to what you do more than what you say. When you show up consistently for one habit, you start teaching your nervous system that your actions can be trusted, that you finish what you start, that you don't break promises to yourself. And that shift is everything. Because once your mind believes you follow through, the ceiling lifts, the walls fall. You stop fearing failure because you've proven to yourself that you'll keep rising no matter what. That's the power of one strong habit. It doesn't just change your routine, it rewires your self-worth. You begin to walk differently, speak differently, think differently, not because anything outside of you has changed, but because everything inside of you has. You're no longer trying to feel confident. You are confident. You no longer need to chase motivation. You move with purpose because your actions are rooted in truth. There's a calm that comes when you know you're in control. A fire that grows when you've trained yourself to keep moving, no matter how loud your excuses become. You can't build a strong life on weak patterns. You can't rise on a foundation built from hesitation, doubt, and half-effort. One habit practiced daily becomes a standard, and standards shape your reality. They dictate how you show up, what you allow, and how far you go. That's why one small change done relentlessly creates massive impact. Because it's never just about the habit. It's about the signal it sends to your life, I'm not who I used to be. And it doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need to overhaul everything. You just need one solid anchor. Something you protect at all costs. Something that centers you, grounds you, and proves to you every single day that you are serious about your evolution. It could be the way you start your morning, the way you treat your body, the time you claim for yourself, or whatever it is. When you do it consistently, it becomes sacred, it becomes yours. And when something becomes yours, you no longer negotiate with it, you defend it. That's how strength is built, quietly, patiently, through the boring, the simple, the overlooked. That's where greatness hides, not in loud declarations, but in quiet rituals. And when that habit becomes part of you, something bigger happens. Your vision expands, your choices align, your future shifts. Not because it was handed to you, but because you stepped into it with discipline. You don't wait for miracles, you create momentum. And the beautiful truth is this: once you build that one habit, you prove to yourself that you can build another and another, until one day you look around and realize you're living a life you once only imagined, all because you decided to master one thing and never stopped. Most people wait for a breakthrough, not realizing the breakthrough is waiting for them to act. They sit in hesitation, hoping for clarity, praying for momentum, but never moving. That's the trap, believing you need to feel ready to begin. But readiness is a myth. The truth is, action creates clarity. Movement creates motivation. The habit you keep avoiding is the doorway to everything you've been searching for. And it's not the size of the action that matters. It's the commitment behind it. The decision that says, no matter how I feel, I will not abandon myself today. The greatest shift happens when you stop negotiating with your old self. That version of you, the one that delays, escapes, and doubts, only survives through permission. It only lives when you feed it time, attention, excuses. But once you interrupt the pattern with one consistent habit, everything changes. You break the cycle. You create a gap between who you've been and who you're becoming. And in that space, you take back your power. You stop being a prisoner of your past and start becoming the architect of your future. Every time you follow through, you raise your internal standard. You send a message to your subconscious: this is who I am now. I don't quit. I don't shrink. I don't fall back into what broke me. And the beautiful part is that your brain begins to catch up. It starts scanning for actions, opportunities, and people that align with this new version of you. That's how alignment begins, not from wishing, but from doing. When your habits match your vision, your reality starts to bend in your favor. You won't always feel strong, you won't always feel certain, but you don't need to. You just need to keep the promise. One habit, one sacred routine that grounds you, centers you, and reminds you that you are not your thoughts, not your failures, not your fear. You are your discipline. You are your decision. And when that becomes your truth, everything becomes possible. This is where transformation begins, not in the spotlight, not in the applause, but in the quiet daily discipline that no one sees. In the early mornings, in the moments of resistance, in the uncomfortable silence where you choose progress over comfort. That's where your strength is forged. And when that strength is real, it shows. Not in how loud you speak, but in how consistently you act. Not in what you say you'll do, but in what you do when no one is watching. You've waited long enough. The habit that will change everything isn't something you need to find, it's something you need to choose. And once you choose it, guard it like your future depends on it. Because it does. Everything you want is on the other side of the discipline you've been avoiding. So show up, lock in, decide who you are, and prove it, one powerful habit at a time. The life you want is already possible. It's not out of reach. It's not reserved for the lucky or the gifted. It's waiting for you to become the person who can handle it, protect it, and sustain it. And that person isn't built through big moments. They're built through daily decisions, through repeated effort, through the habit of showing up when it would be easier to quit. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you're proving to yourself that you're ready for more. You're not just hoping anymore, you're becoming. Progress isn't always loud. Sometimes it feels slow. Sometimes it feels invisible. But real change happens long before anyone sees the result. It begins in silence, in those early hours when you push through resistance, in those quiet choices when you could slip back into the old you, but you don't. That's where power is born. That's where you shift from trying to trusting. Because once you've shown yourself that you can keep a promise, especially when it's hard, you begin to believe in your own strength in a way that no one can give or take away. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to keep the habit alive. The habit that aligns with your higher self. The one that moves you closer, even if it's just by inches, because those inches add up. Those small wins build a foundation, and over time, that foundation becomes unshakable. You'll look back and realize it was never one huge decision that changed everything. It was the commitment to one small one, repeated over and over, until it rewired who you are. There is nothing more powerful than self-respect, and is built through action. You begin to trust yourself again when your behavior finally matches your vision. When you stop breaking the agreements you made in silence, that's when your confidence becomes unbreakable. Not because things get easier, but because you get stronger. You've proven to yourself that you can endure, that you can stay focused, that you can rise above whatever tries to pull you back. You are not waiting for potential. You are already it. The only thing left is to unlock it with action. And the key is always consistency, not perfection, not intensity, just one thing done with full heart every single day, one thing you guard, one thing you grow, one thing that becomes the root of your identity. And once it's planted deeply enough, nothing can shake it. Not fear, not failure, not time. If you're serious about the life you say you want, prove it to yourself now. Don't speak it, live it, don't wish it, work it. Anchor your day to one habit that reflects your greatness. Show yourself what's possible when you refuse to give up. Because you are not far. You're one decision away, one action away, one unshakable habit away from becoming unstoppable. Discipline is not punishment, it's permission. Permission to grow, permission to rise, permission to walk into a version of yourself you've only glimpsed in rare moments of clarity. It's not about restriction, it's about liberation. When you take control of your habits, you take control of your future. The chaos starts to settle, the noise begins to fade, and in that space you find something most people never touch in their entire lives: alignment, a moment where your actions, your values, and your vision all move in the same direction. That is when power is born. Not the kind that comes from force, but the kind that comes from inner alignment. Quiet. Strong, unshakable. You don't need more inspiration. You don't need more time. You need to decide that enough is enough, that you're done living at half strength, that you're done starting and stopping, hoping and hesitating, building momentum only to let it slip. That kind of cycle doesn't break on its own. It breaks when you rise with intention and say, this habit is no longer optional. It's who I am now. And the moment you truly believe that, your behavior begins to match it. The resistance you once feared becomes your training ground. You stop running from discomfort and start using it to sharpen your mind, shape your body, and clarify your purpose. Habits are more than tasks. They're anchors. They keep you grounded when life gets chaotic. They give you structure when everything feels uncertain. When your emotions waver, when your motivation fades, when the world pushes back, your habit stays. It holds you steady. That's why it's sacred. That's why it matters. Not because it's flashy, but because it's constant. You begin to build trust in yourself, not by doing everything perfectly, but by doing one thing consistently. You already have the strength. You've just been scattering it, spreading it too thin across distractions, doubts, and decisions that don't serve you. But now, you pull it all together. You gather your focus and you pour it into one habit, one commitment, one non-negotiable. And something shifts. You begin to feel it. Less noise, more clarity, less doubt, more direction. You're not chasing anything anymore. You're building it from within. from the ground up, from repetition, not reaction. This is the foundation you've been missing. This is the structure that supports growth that lasts. You won't have to keep starting over because this time it's different. This time it's deeper. This time it's not about what others see. It's about what you know, deep inside, about who you are and what you're becoming. And when that knowing is backed by action, by proof, by ritual, nothing can stop it. You've tried doing it the easy way. Now it's time to do it the real way. Anchor yourself, discipline yourself, free yourself. Let one habit become the proof that you were always capable, that you were never broken, just waiting to activate your true potential, and that time is now. You are not here to repeat yesterday. You are not here to survive the same cycle, stuck in patterns that drain your energy and blur your vision. You are here to rise. And rising doesn't happen through luck or inspiration. It happens through alignment, through discipline, through daily decisions that match the future you crave. That future version of you is not some distant dream. It's built brick by brick, choice by choice, through the one habit you refuse to let go of. Every time you keep that habit alive, you are taking one step out of who you were and one step closer to who you were always meant to become. You can't escape the truth. If your daily behavior isn't aligned with your desired outcome, the gap will grow. No matter how much you want it, hope for it, or visualize it, if your actions aren't pulling you toward it, you're drifting further away. But when you wake up and lock in on one habit that represents your future self, you collapse that gap. You step into the identity